Well, my name's Matt, and I've spent my life devoted to mastering card games. Mainstream or obscure, there was no time commitment or expense too great. But most Magic players can't afford to do what I did. Because of this, I have been given a challenge. New arena account, no spending allowed, and a limited amount of playtime. Can I be competitive without spending a dime? This is Freeplayer. The beginning of the week started fairly smooth. With the green-black deck in play queue, we managed to eke out our wins fairly quickly under the time limit. We hit another 5,000 gold, but Wizards switched the quick draft to Ikoria drafting, missing our plans to exploit rare drafting for the foreseeable future. This is possibly a blessing in disguise. A Reddit post came out earlier this week with another free player's stats on getting every card in Strixhaven and Mystical Archive. It took roughly $80 worth of gems, all earned through free play. They did only traditional draft and prioritized Mystical Archive's rares and mythics over anything else. We'll have to get to 10,000 to try our hand at a premier or traditional draft to see how it works. Unless we shelve the idea entirely and save for something a little less variable. Something like Historic Anthology 5? Historic anthologies are one of my favorite things about Historic as a format. Every few months, the format gets a shot in the arm with some major cards to reinforce strategies. This time around has a lot of eye-catching toys. Sheoldred and Vorinclex are two of my favorite cards from the standard that they're from. And a rampant growth for Snowlands might give Snow a little needed boost. The Dragon commands, however, push me back towards red-green as an option for the Historic deck. Atarka's Command is an amazing aggro card, with value late game if drawn after a stabilization. To buy Historic Anthologies with wild cards is the most inefficient use of your resources, since earning a rare wild card by opening packs sits around $5.50, and a mythic about $34. If you think you will use 2 or 3 of the mythics and at least 3 ofs in the foreseeable future, I suggest you take the hit and buy the Historic Anthology, even if it is 25,000 gold when it should be 20,000. Last week I expressed interest in trying a deck with limited rares, like the Finn the Fangbearer deck. But a couple of plays against it made me change my mind for a few reasons. A perfect hand for this deck curves out at 3 mana, 4 max. You want just enough resources to get 4 Death Touch creatures on the board, one of them being Finn, and removal enough to keep your opponent's creatures off board while swinging into them, hoping to kill them with poison. A problem occurs pretty quickly and starkly. Without Finn, you are very likely to lose. As long as you hold up removal for Finn every time he comes down, your opponent is going to have a difficult time getting around you, especially if you wait to block until an attack that Finn is on board. You can tell that this deck is frustrating to play based on the reactions of the people who play it. Often you'll see players concede as soon as you kill Finn, or hit you with a good game emote if they don't hit the green to cast him. For now, I stored this deck idea away, at least until I could think about it and see if I could come up with some tweaks to fix the consistency. The week hammered on and the frustration of play queue became nearly intolerable. Sometimes it felt like I was playing against decks just under the high meta, or the same deck over and over again. I was reaching with what I had built, but wins were sitting just outside my reach. One of the biggest struggles for me as a free player is the knowledge that I could be winning. A little better card pool, a little more consistency in the number of cards I had, and it'd be a walk in the park to get 10 wins easily within our time limit, netting us more XP, more gold, and more random cards to help fill out our collection further. I very nearly jumped into a Premier draft without thinking about the future because I just wanted to play on what I was feeling would be an even playing field. If I won the Anthology, losing that 10k would have been a huge cost. But I wasn't having fun in play, and I wasn't winning in ranked. What was I supposed to do? Then we hit Friday Night Magic for the week. Artisan. This is one of my favorite formats on Arena. It uses the card pool from Standard, but you're not allowed to build decks with any rares or mythics. This cuts off a few of my tools, but highly hinders my opponents, who cannot outshine me with consistency of high-powered rares. The power of the uncommon is good, but it's also fairly balanced. But we don't have an Artisan deck. It's time to deck build. We build a black-green aristocrats deck, which focuses on sacrificing creatures for value. It's not perfect by any means, but it functions, and I'm having fun. We lost a couple games at the beginning, but the technical aspects of what and when to sack reinvigorated me and made me want to play despite the outcome. I pulled out 8 wins in 60 minutes, and these are the cards we pulled. Biblioplex, Lorehold Excavation, Skyway Sniper, and an Eradicator Valkyrie. This Angel Berserker seems like a good addition to an Aristocrats build that isn't Artisan, should I choose to use it. Our decks are determined by our card pool at the moment, and right now, we aren't too worried about fringe builds. With a rocky 6 days and a decently fun finish, it's really hard to call this week a win. But I did take something away from this week. Make your own fun. I never thought this challenge would be easy. I'm not even sure that it's possible. But playing that F&M made me experience what I long for on my main account. A chance to brew, to play technically, and to have fun against like-powered decks. By the end of this, I may be a ranting hermit, banging away about how rares ruin Magic. But at least I know there's a place for free players to have fun in the system. There's a place for me, and there's a place for you.